having a look at some of the new features in Adobe Photoshop, specifically looking at simple AI and generative fill. So I've got this image of Ronnie Coleman here, and it does have some color correction on it, which is obviously an important thing when you are dealing with images, but we are specifically going to look at some of the AI stuff that is now built into Adobe Photoshop. So do check that you are running the most current version of Adobe Photoshop. I'm currently running a Photoshop 2025, and let's jump straight in. So first thing you want to make sure is that you have this little attachment here. This is the contextual taskbar. It can get a little bit annoying sometimes if you're not used to it. If you do not see that here, what you can do is go to Window and have a look down the bottom, and you can see contextual taskbar, and you can turn that on or off there. So if it has disappeared, make sure that is turned on, contextual taskbar, and there it is there. And this will align to any tools that you have selected. It will change according to that if it is applicable. All right, so easy way of doing this. I'm going to hit the L key, and this is going to take me to what essentially used to be the lasso tool. So on the toolbar here you can see L, and this is a new one. This is called the selection brush tool. It is pretty new. I'm not going to use it, so if you have got that, I will talk about this in a later video, but as a quick one, I'm just going to get everyone to go down and select the standard lasso tool. And again, if you know the shortcut L, you can hit Shift L and it will cycle through, but there it is there, lasso tool. Easy. What I'm going to do now is select part of the image here, and I'm going to say select his head, for example. I'm just going to do a really rough lasso around it. I don't need to worry about absolute precision in this. And then over here on my contextual taskbar, you can see it says generative fill. So there are a few other options in here. You can invert the selection. So say you want to leave, in this case, his head, you can actually invert it, so it's going to select everything outside of that. But you know, if you do want his head, there it is there. So we're going to leave that as is. I'm going to press the generative fill button like so, and it's going to say, hey, what do you want to generate? And you can put quite a few characters in here. You can get quite precise, but I'm going to type in something. Let's type in doghouse, see what happens. So this is pretty cool stuff. Once you've typed something in here, you can hit generate. There are some other options in here which will pop up once we've done generating that, and it's going to click through. While it's clicking through, I do want to mention that this is akin to a little bit like a lucky dip. It's literally scoured images off the internet, or in Adobe's case, Adobe stock, and it's trained its AI, but it's really hard to get exactly what you want, and the effects can be quite amusing. And as we can see here, here's a little doghouse. So we do have some options in here, and if you have a look at our contextual taskbar, you've got a 1-3, and this will actually show that you could have 3 options. Every time you do generative fill, there are 3 options. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to my properties panel. So if you don't see your properties panel, you can go to Window and just make sure properties is turned on, like so. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to rip this panel out, because it actually goes quite a bit larger than my screen at this point. So, and that's going to show me that I've got 3 images. So if you don't want to rip it off, that's fine. We can redock it, but just make sure that you got access. Maybe shuffle things up so you've got access to see what's going on. So I've just typed in doghouse. It's given me 3 options. And what you could do from here is you could actually click on the little 3 buttons here, 3 dots here, and you can go, yeah, that's good, poor, or report. The other thing you can do is also generate similar. So if you see something you don't like, you can click on that and you go poor, and this one, you can go why you don't like it. But most of the time you can just click on the one you do like and go generate similar. So it's going to tick through and use that. Now, while this is really weird and exciting, because of the mixed results, what I've tend to find is that if you do actually know how to use a lot of the Adobe Photoshop tools, you can use a combination of this and the pre-learnt skills to really hone in what you want, because you can literally spend hours clicking through, adjusting your descriptions, and still not getting the result you want, particularly if a director's asking you for a very specific thing. So it's good, it's great. it's not always what you want. So be willing to do the hard work and get what you require for that. As you can see on the layers panel, it has created that as a separate layer, so it's actually repaired a bunch of the stuff around it, try to fill in the gaps, and it's also got a mask on it as well. So if you click on one of these, it will go back to your options. You can delete ones you don't like, and if you want to build something else new again, you can select an area, and something I forgot to mention, if you do want to add to a selection, Shift will allow you to drag out a new or extension of that. I'm still on the lasso tool, and Alt or Option key on a Mac will allow you to subtract an area. So again, we will get to selection tools a little bit better, and you can click Generative Fill, and you can type in wing. I'm going to be very general and blasé about that, and away it ticks. So time consuming, but see if you can get some really interesting results. I do have one more thing I want to show you, and this one's really quite exciting, and I have used this a fair amount for extension. Alright, so some funky wings there, and you can see it kind of blends, it's got rid of his traps there, so it's going to adjust your image whether or not you like it or not. It's very hard to combine the two, but it looks interesting enough. Alright, the other one I was going to talk about is the crop tool. So shortcut is C for crop. Here it is here in the toolbar, and most people are aware of the crop tool on their phones. You can cut down an image, you can grab corners, and you can readjust its position. In Photoshop, you can also extend out an image, which is pretty exciting. So that's all well and good, we can do that, but if you do have a look up at your options panel here, so I'm just going to get rid of that, let's bring that up to there. If you do see where it says fill, the default is going to be transparent or potentially background, and if you do have a look just a little bit below, it's got generative expand, and if you click in there, it's going to say what would you like to generate, and this is optional, so you can ask it to fill in the extension of that. So you can be creative with that. If you don't want to be creative and you just hit generate, what it's going to do is going to look at the existing image and try and stretch it out and rebuild it, trying to figure out what the extension could be. Remember, this is machine learning, so sometimes it freaks out. Alright, I'm actually glad this has popped up. So it has said it's encountered an issue with the results, and it's just going to kind of freak out for a little bit. So if that does happen, it might be worthwhile clicking on that, and it links to the Adobe website. I'm just going to hit Control Z, get back here, and go move tool back to the crop tool. I'm just going to try and extend this out again this way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So once again, generative expand. But while that's ticking away, check what Adobe will and won't allow with generative fill. So sometimes it can potentially be copyright material. Sometimes it could be acts of violence or inappropriate images that it thinks that you're trying to obtain. So sometimes you just got to try again, but it won't typically allow things like guns and people getting harmed and stuff like that. So if that's something you definitely need, if it's for a film, and sometimes we do need to show these things, you will probably need to use other means, like actually using the other Photoshop skills. Anyway, so here's an extension of that, and once again, I'm just going to get this guideline out of the way. You can extend until you find the image that suits you. I don't know why there's a Christmas tree thing. Maybe it's registering that as a Christmas image. Find what you want, and if you don't like it, ignore it or delete it, or you can go generate similar, and you can keep on playing with that. So have a good fun with that, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.